jingle only means one thing. It's week 9 on Talk the Line. Hello, everyone. Jason McIntyre, Colin Cowherd, and I'm Charissa Thompson. Colin, huge week, buddy. It says here that you're 4-1, but I know you're really 5-1 with your bonus pick. Come on now.
I had the Bears. I didn't, I was going to bet the Eagles, but I thought it was a trap, and it was for most of them. So I stayed out of that one. It was like I saw a line this week. Sometimes lines are too good to be true.
Wow. I said like my ex-husband.
I was going to say, women are the same way. If a guy comes up and his line is too good, you're like, talk to the hand. Not interested. It's too good.
Are people still saying that? Talk to the hand? Is that
I am.
2020.
In the South Bay, Jason, you should know that. Jason, you were okay. You were 500, my friend. You were
not going to cut it.
Fair enough. All right, guys, we got week 9 action. So let's take a look at these early lines. Of course, it is Monday, so these will move. But just big picture right here. Jace, what stands out to you?
Well, I think Seattle Buffalo. You're near and dear to Seattle. I know Charissa and Colin as well. That looks like a Seahawks smash spot to me. I think I'll be all over that game.
All right, we're going to definitely dive into that one. But how about Pittsburgh? 14. Oh, my goodness. Colin, what jumps out to you? And again, we'll break down all these, but just first glance.
Baltimore, big money, -3 at Indianapolis. They outplayed Pittsburgh, dominated the game. Lamar was sloppy. That line doesn't make sense to me. I would have guessed it's 5. Baltimore's a much better team, much more dynamic offensively. That's the bet of the weekend to me, Baltimore.
Ooh, bet of the weekend. Okay, we're going to jump into that as well. But let's start off, shall we? I lost yesterday because why would I take a 5-1 team over a 1-5 team? Green Bay hosed me. This week, they're on a short week. They're going west. They get San Francisco. San Francisco, of course, coming off the loss to Seattle. We're looking at 3 here and a total points of 51. Colin, who do you like and why?
Well, I like Green Bay. They are the convertible sports car of the NFL. Nothing looks cooler in the summer and early fall, but you got to put it away when the weather gets crappy. And I still think for about a week or two, I like Green Bay in these spots where they got to play urgently. They're not a team that generally loses back-to-back with Aaron. They were really humiliated physically, and San Francisco's falling apart. This would normally be a big San Francisco play, but the fact they were dominated by the Vikings, and I have real reservations. Again, it's the classic, why I use the convertible sports car. There's a time of the year, it's the coolest thing on the road. It's just the best look at it when you're comfortable and the weather's good. But it's about a 7-week, in Connecticut, it was about 45 minutes. In California, it's about 7 months. So I just think this is the time of the year I have questions about Green Bay. But the way they lost at Minnesota, I think they'll play with real urgency. And I don't know. I mean, is George Kittle not going to play now?
Right. And Garoppolo went out with his ankle injury. Yeah. Although some would argue Nick Mullins actually looked better than Garoppolo in spots.
But I would take Green Bay in this spot. And I think I'd like the over.
Okay. Chase?
Yeah, Tevin Coleman also was injured in that game.
Yep.
No, we don't know about Deebo Samuel, and we talked about this on your show Friday, Colin. Without Deebo Samuel, there's just no vertical threat on this team at all. I will just say this. We've seen Green Bay face San Francisco twice last year, and they got run over, literally. They could not stop the Kyle Shanahan run game. I just don't know if San Francisco has the bodies to run over the Packers.
And it's a short week, so San Francisco doesn't have much time to heal.
Great point. And I do want to say this about Aaron Rodgers. I know you guys have a love and hate relationship, Colin. This is a guy who, when they're 4-0 and rolling, everything's great. Yeah, we're the Packers. And now you lose a game. And did you hear what he said about, hey, I'm not going to lobby for any wide receivers because the last time I did that, the guy I wanted ended up in Buffalo. And he was talking about Stephon Diggs. So Aaron Rodgers is chirping and angry. And I don't know if that's going to sow any dissension in the locker room. Like, hey, we got the wide receivers. Aaron Rodgers is not happy right now. This is stay away, but I would look at the under of 51 because, again, if San Francisco is going to win a lot of running the football, and Aaron Jones should be back, I believe, for Green Bay. Although they had a COVID scare, you got to keep an eye on that. The rookie Dillon, the running back, could be an issue for Jamal Williams and maybe Aaron Jones. So you got to monitor that. But, yeah, I'm with Colin, probably the Packers here.
If Dalvin Cook's performance yesterday was any indication, you can run on this Green Bay team.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
ridiculous. 4 touchdowns? Get out of here with the nonsense. All right, game 2, we got Seattle at Buffalo. Hey, Seattle does well when they travel east. In the last 2 years, you guys, they're 9-0 in the Eastern time zone. So going east for them is not a problem. 3-point favorite in this one with a total of 53. Colin, who do you like and why?
I like Seattle. Jamal Adams will play. Carlos Dunlap will play. I think there's a lot of meat on the bone with Seattle. I think I've seen the best of Pittsburgh. I've seen the best of Kansas City. I've seen the best of Tampa. Seattle's got 2 stars on the defensive side they're going to play. They're playing with DJ Dallas, a 4-string running back. Seattle is a...
He looked great yesterday.
He did. He missed a couple of assignments, but he made up for it.
Right on the next play, yeah.
Yeah, I think Seattle is probably the one team in the league. They're a personal foul penalty against Arizona, being undefeated. I think they have much, much higher ceiling than what they've played. And I don't know. Listen, Buffalo loses that game potentially if Cam doesn't fumble. That's embarrassing. Like, they're rebooting in New England. So I don't know what's happened.
He was right there. Yeah.
So I like Seattle comfortably here.
I think if you like Seattle, you got to get it now because this is going to go up. Nobody believes in Buffalo, folks. This team reeks of fraudulence. They pulled the ball out of Josh Allen's hands yesterday. We don't trust him throwing it. I think he attempted 18 passes, Carissa. There's just no faith.
That seems dramatic. You don't trust him at all? Look at some.
Listen, this is the guy who, Carissa, he was an MVP candidate the first 3 weeks. And then defenses are like, oh, this is what Josh Allen is now. And they've adjusted. And we've seen it since that Tennessee game. He's just been laying egg after egg. I don't even think
won the MVP last year, and I don't know if I can trust him half the time. So
that's fair. But now he said Jamal Adams is coming back. Dunbar was back. San Francisco could do nothing through the first 3 quarters.
Jamal Adams trained Saturday and Sunday, and I have a source that saw it and said he looked fantastic.
Yeah. Maybe they were holding him back, waiting for this big game against Buffalo. I'm with you. I like
share your source with us. No, don't do it. Micah Hyde is also questionable, as well as Josh Norman. Russell Wilson can have a field day. We know Buffalo. Forget Josh Allen. Buffalo's defense, especially that back end, is a mess as well. So I'm taking the over in this bad boy. We're also going to do something a little bit different. We're in week 9, so I also want to include the Super Bowl odds. For those that are interested, Seattle is plus 800 with the 4th best odds there. So we talked a couple weeks ago about how to bet futures. There's one for you. Seattle plus 800. All right, moving on. Game 3. We got the Saints at the Bucs. This is a rematch. Of course, the Saints won in week 1, but this is a very different Bucs team now, and Tom Brady's had time. That defense has gotten even better. We got a 2.5-point favorite. This seems very low, but still 2.5 with an over 49.5. Colin?
I like Tampa big in that game, but I like the Giants tonight to cover against Tampa because of that. I think Tampa's got their eyes on the Saints. I think they're going to overlook the Giants. If you can get the Giants at the right number, 12 points, 12.5, I take the Giants tonight because I think that Tampa Bay looks at that. We've got to win that. It's the game of the year. We've got to win the division. We still have an outside chance to get a number 1 seed. So I like this is begging you to take Tampa, and I'm on the hook for it. I'll take it.
I'm 100% with you. This is one of those bet it early in the week because this is only going to go up. Saints' 2nd straight road game. And the last time we saw Tom Brady against the Saints, right? He threw the pick 6. He had another interception. The narrative on Monday morning, Tom Brady's washed. He's not any good. Okay. Tom Brady remembers this stuff. Tom Brady will come out looking to put a statement on the Saints next weekend. And there will be fans in the stadium in Tampa. And I'll say this. We talked, I think, Tom Brady a little bit. Could he get in the MVP mix? This game right here against the Saints, this payback game, Antonio Brown will be suiting up. I'm with Colin. This screams like a Tampa Bay maybe hangs a 40 burger on the Saints.
Well, not to mention the fact that this Saints team isn't that good. I mean, it had to go to overtime for the Chargers. They won by 3 against the Panthers, 3 against the Bears. I mean, it's like they're sitting at, a great record. They're sitting at 5-2, but I don't really feel like they're a 5-2 team.
They've trailed in every game this year.
Yeah, I'm just not buying them. Not to mention every week, is Michael Thomas playing? Is he not playing? Is he even on the team anymore? Again, this is a questionable thing, and Emmanuel Sanders still is questionable with COVID. Again, for this one, futures Super Bowl odds for Tampa Bay plus 700. That's the 3rd best odds for them. So again, if you want to get in on the action on that, we had a fancy font. I don't know where it is, but take my word for it. Super Bowl odds, Tampa Bay, plus 700. All right, moving on. Game 4, we got Steelers at Dallas. Oh, boy, 14 and a total of 47.5. Yikes. We don't know if Andy Dalton will be back again. Concussion protocol. Colin, go.
I usually eliminate every week. I look at the board and I take out the biggest line. It always, I just don't like betting games like this. I mean, could Dallas backdoor cover because Pittsburgh sits for their starters who are banged up? I mean, Pittsburgh's going to look at the tape. This is the week. If you've got a starter who's banged up, you keep him out. Dallas probably plays somewhat inspired because they're such dogs. They don't want to be physically humiliated. But I can see, Pittsburgh's so much better. But Pittsburgh comes off a highly emotional game. So I don't know what I get from Pittsburgh. I'd rather bet Pittsburgh in big games. It's like March Madness. I know I'm getting everybody's best shot. I'd rather bet Pittsburgh in games where I know they're facing a Kansas City, a Baltimore, a Tennessee, where I'm going to get their best shot. I don't know what I'm getting with Pittsburgh off that game. I'd stay away.
A lot of alignment this week. I'm with you. Mike Tomlin is a rah-rah guy. He can get his teams up for the big games. Got him up for Tennessee. Won that game on the road. Got him up for Baltimore. Big rivalry game on the road. Won that. Third straight road game. Tough to inspire the troops when the opponent is 0-8 or whatever. 0-8 against the spread. Sorry for Dallas. I mean, Dallas, we know they're a joke. They're heading into the bye week next week. There could be a 1-2-3 Cancun type vibe in Dallas, but this is like a stay away for sure. Because if Pittsburgh's ever going to have a letdown, it's going to be in this spot, Colin. Yeah,
did you just say 1-2-3 Cancun?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to Cancun during a pandemic, right? I mean, everybody's looking
I mean, 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor. That's what I usually do.
All right, okay.
Who am I?
Yeah, that's a good spring break, Charissa.
I don't even go to Applebee's during a pandemic.
Well, I'll tell you where I'm not going. I'm not going to Soup Plantation or anywhere with a buffet. The Golden Corral is no longer happening for me. Okay, game 5, real quick. Again, futures on this one, Pittsburgh plus 550, the second best odds for Super Bowl appearance in that one, or to win the Super Bowl plus 550. All right, Ravens at the Colts, guys, is our 5th game of the day. We're looking at Baltimore being a 3-point favorite. Colin, you said that this is the lock of the week. Why?
Baltimore lost. People sell stock. They're a much better team than the Colts, much more consistent. They came down to the final play of the game, and they could have beaten the Pittsburgh team. They ran at will. They dominated time of possession. Lamar struggled. He won't struggle against this defense nearly as badly. And I also thought, but Lamar's a little bit of a work in progress right now. People have a way they're playing him. I think Pittsburgh can play him a certain way that Indianapolis can't. I love the Ravens in this spot. Love them.
All right. Well, you know what was going to happen, Carissa. We're going to have some disagreement here. You'll have to be the tiebreaker.
That's what we're here for.
I'm looking at the Colts. Let me try to make the case for them. Now, first of all, I don't like that it's indoors. Lamar Jackson indoors, obviously a scary prospect. But this is a Colts defense. You saw them come out of the bye week with Darius Leonard, your guy. He was a monster. Forced fumble, sack, 2 tackles for loss. The Colts rarely pressure the quarterback. 5 sacks of Stafford yesterday. They were in his grill all day. And that Colts defense, we've seen them stop the run. And if they take away the run from Baltimore, now we know Pittsburgh, the best run defense, could not. But if they do you trust Lamar Jackson through the air, Colin? We saw the Steelers took away Mark Andrews this week. Hollywood Browns firing off on social media. Get me the ball, and very ticked off. Lamar has he's regressed a little bit. We can admit he's not the MVP he was last year. And just a note on Phillip Rivers I have here. 11 different Colts caught passes this past week. You don't know who's coming. We thought it was going to be a Jonathan Taylor game. Somebody named Jordan Wilkins went bananas. Colts are dangerous. I'm looking to take the points. We'll see if that 3 holds. But I may or may not have grabbed some 3 early this morning.
Listen, I have regressed, but I still deliver. Everybody regressed. That is still good.
All right, Carissa, you're the tiebreaker. Who you got in this?
If nothing else, I'm taking the under. I think they lean on this thing, and I think that Colts defense is very good. And Lamar Jackson, you know what drives me nuts? I'm a big body language and energy person. The second anything goes wrong for Lamar Jackson, I saw it in the KC game. I see it any time he's in big spots and he comes up short, but there's still plenty of time on the clock. He's like this. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you're the leader of that team. I gotta see, like, hey, no problem, next play. Like, run back down the court, my bad kind of move. Anyways, is the show over? I just went on a rant.
No, that was good. I
play Super Bowl odds. Ravens in this one plus 1,000. They're the 5th best odds to win the Super Bowl. All right, we got Raiders, Chargers, guys, moving right along. This is divisional game here. So we've got 1.5 and 54.5 for the points. Colin, who do you like? Why?
Raiders are hard to get your your arms around because, they've beaten Drew Brees. They've beaten Mahomes. I thought they really gutted it out this weekend. Boy, this is, I like competent quarterbacks and points.
You love Herbert.
I do, but Anthony Lynn's in some trouble.
Anthony Lynn, oh my God.
And Anthony Lynn's in some trouble. How's the locker room right now? Is it getting frustrated? Have they reached the point where, first of all, the Raiders are playing for a lot more in this game and they're getting points. And I think they're really, they've got, I would take the over on this game. Mm-hmm. That's probably and the number's huge, but I would stay away from betting the game. I would bet the over.
I'm not a sports psychologist. I don't know how the Chargers respond to that collapse. That was brutal. We did see Joey Bosa leave the game with a concussion in the fourth. Yep. And without him, the pass rush was just non-existent. Drew Lock up and down the field. Monitor this Trent Brown thing. He's their best offensive lineman on the Raiders. And, he had some issue, had to be hospitalized. That's bad. But Colin, I will say this. I'll have the numbers Thursday. I don't know the exact number, but the short road dogs, meaning under 3, which is what the Raiders are here, are something like 80% this year. I don't know what it is. Maybe the market's undervaluing them, but the Raiders already taking on money early. I think they're the side here. And I like Herbert too, man. He's fun to watch. Raiders secondary stinks, so we know Herbert's going to get his. But Derek Carr, listen, he's playing well. This short passing game, 73% completions. I think I'm on the Raiders here.
In divisional games, I don't know if this stat. Oh, the UPS's guy is here. So the dogs are going to go into the door. Okay. Speaking of dogs, divisional games, the dogs are right now 12-3 in the last 2 weeks. So do what you want with that.
Divisional, yeah, that's a great stat. Divisional underdogs.
Yeah. You guys stop. Look, this is a family show. We're at home. Oh my God, that is really annoying though. Hey, Daisy, Willis, come over here. You mentioned Joey Bosa's questionable. Also, they shipped off their All-Pro Desmond King. I'm going to go get them to be quiet. Hold on 1 second. They traded him to the Titans this morning.
Yeah, who trades a slot corner who's a really, really good player?
Well, they're first of all, they're very deep at corner. They're not going to be in the playoffs. King can be a little bit of an erratic personality.
They got nothing. They got a 6th-round pick for him.
Well, but again, they've drafted well.
They have.
Chargers are
they got a good roster.
They have a good roster.
I know.
Oh my gosh, you guys, wait! I have to interrupt you. You know who was at the door? It was the NFL, and they just have breaking news right now. George Kittle is out for 8 weeks. Do what you want with that. 8 weeks.
That makes me like Green Bay even more.
Can I bet the Packers during the show here?
Wow. My God. What? Okay. Anyways, we'll move on. We've got game 7 here. We're looking at the Dolphins and the Cardinals. Arizona 4.5 with a total points of 47.5. Colin, who do you like and why?
Boy, I was uninspired by Tua.
Colin, they had under 100 yards midway through the fourth.
I think I'd take Arizona here. I think I'd take Arizona as my side. But by the way, Arizona was on a bye.
Yes, getting healthy.
Yeah. Hey, look at my head showed up there, right there.
I'm with Colin here. Arizona, I love this game personally. Because, Colin, the casual gamblers will say, oh, Miami won as an underdog. I got to take them. They beat the Rams. The Rams were good. I think Arizona's one of my favorite plays of the week early here. Miami just, defensively, they're good, but they can't stop the run. And the Rams went away from the run when your guy Henderson, remember we talked about Darrell Henderson, good running back out of Memphis. He got hurt. And they went away from the run, and Goff was a turnover machine. Again, we talked about this on the herd. Brian Flores, who shut down McVay and Goff in the Super Bowl, had an extra week to prepare. Goff 4 turnovers in the first half. It was a nightmare. Kyler Murray will be fine. I like the Cardinals here, and a great spot for them.
All right, we are moving on. Monday night game, guys. Bucks at the Giants. You mentioned it, Colin. It kind of intimated your thoughts on this one. So, Jason, I want to start with you. Oh, my gosh. I must have a lot of breaking news at this front door. I'm going to go answer that. Jason, let me get your take. 12 and 45.5. Go ahead.
Is that Jay Glazer on the horn with more news?
It must be. Let me get some scoopage. I'll be right back. Oh, Jason.
So, Colin, the Giants kind of stink, right? But their head coach is Joe Judge, who just happened to spend some time with Tom Brady in New England for the last, several years. So maybe he comes out with some kind of good game plan, but no fans in the stadium, a Giants team going nowhere. Daniel Jones pretty much toast in New York. They're ready to move on. He's a turnover machine. At some point, I will personally guarantee a fumble for touchdown or pick six, because that's what this kid does. I'm telling you, every week it's a turnover, 2 or 3. I'll take the Bucs. You know, you hate to give up 12, but at double digits is a big number in the NFL. This feels like a 27-10 game, 27-13.
Now remember, Giants' defensive front is their strength. Brady can struggle when under pressure.
Looking ahead to the Saints.
What's the weather like tonight in New York? Is it cruddy, a little windy weather? Cruddy. All right.
Might be crummy. Yeah. So you're taking the points.
I took the Giants. Okay. Already spent the money.
All right.
You know, the thing about betting that's great is that literally I drive to work this morning knowing I know everything in the world about football. It's a great feeling.
Carissa, you're not here, but there's an extra vibe coming off Colin right now. The 4-1 glow. You can just feel it.
Well,
he's giddy, right?
You know what's better than a 4-1 glow for Colin? A 5-1 glow. I mean, he doesn't need a facial this week. He is just Brady. He's a J-Lo glow. Hey, I mentioned it every week, but for those of you guys that are new to wagering, I like to introduce some prop bets. It's a fun way to sort of get in the game but not feel that invested. And if you're, don't want to break the bank, I'm doing my prop bets. I got over 39.5 rushing yards for Rob Gronkowski and Ronald Jones under 61.5 rushing yards for the reason that Colin mentioned that defensive front for the Giants is good. So make sure you can. Those are just a couple examples of prop bets, but there's a whole bunch of them over on Fox Bet. Make sure if you haven't done that already to download the free-to-play app and get involved there. Just some quick injury notes for that game, you guys. Devontae Freeman out, Will Hernandez out, and Chris Godwin out. All right, as we do every week, we got a fan question. Thank you guys so much for submitting your questions. This week, Curtis J is the lucky winner. So he says this, Colin, what do you look for in an opening line that makes you want to lock it in immediately? Or do you always wait through the week before placing your bets? I think you just answered it. You do it on the way in.
Yeah, I know. I always do it. Yeah, I do it. I always see 1 or 2 bets Monday that I like a lot. It depends. I mean, in a real world, I would do Blazing 5. I would give you my picks mostly on Monday, but that's not the way our show works. Everybody does their picks on Friday, but I usually think the lines are better today. I mean, Green Bay -3 now with Kittle out. It's a better line. Baltimore -3, Seattle. I think Arizona -4.5. I mean, I look at these lines. They're not going to get better for me. Now, sometimes you do get lucky. Also, if you wait later in the week, you get injury information.
Yes.
Like I've been burned before where I bet too early and then I have to bet against myself. I don't want to lose too much money. So this year we've had more than an average injuries. So, like the Michael Thomas thing, you can get news on Friday he's playing and it's going to change the line at 1.5.
This is the trade week also, right? So there could be some moves. I don't know. It'd be interesting if Michael Thomas got shipped, but also COVID, right? It's a big COVID scare. Remember the Raiders with the offensive line against the Bucs? Like sometimes you wait. Yeah.
Well, don't wait on the Green Bay San Francisco news. Now that we know that George Kittle is out for 8 weeks, that line of 3 looks pretty good. All right, you guys, we appreciate the time as always. Thank you guys for watching Talk the Line. I apparently have a lot of packages I need to go get at the front door. Thank you for bearing with the interruptions. Jason McIntyre, Colin Cowherd, I'm Charissa Thompson, and we will see you next week on Talk the Line.